Hey there, welcome to January 2022. This is the reading for Cancer Sun, Moon, Rising, or whatever. I have all of my links in the description box down below. If you're looking for a personal reading or Reiki session with me, I am actually running a sale until January 8th. I also have the year ahead horoscope for all 12 signs. I have horoscopes for each of you. It took me quite a bit of time, and that's actually why these videos are coming out a little bit late, so I do apologize there. Those are found in the description box down below, as well as all my other links for social media. I do want to thank all of you who've supported this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It does help me keep putting out this content and allows me to sustain this channel, which is really, really appreciated. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. The astrology is really kind of rocky coming out of the gate this month. We're encountering quite a bit of turbulence. And for you specifically, Cancer, you are ruled by the moon. And one of the things that's kind of interesting this month, and I talked about this last month as well, is that the nodes are shifting out of Gemini and Sagittarius and into Taurus and Scorpio, respectively. That is the North node entering into Taurus and the South node entering into Scorpio. The nodes are the locations where the eclipses occur, so this really does impact you because it does have this lunar influence as well. And there really is going to be this focus this year on your social networks and really where you belong, as well as reaching for your hopes and dreams. There's actually quite a bit here on the table. I have all your cards already drawn. That really tells me there's a lot of wish fulfillment that's actually going to be happening for you this month, but it's almost like you have to play hard to get. I do have the Knight of Cups showing up in the past here. And this could be talking about relationships. This could be talking about romance or someone new coming into your life, especially since we do have a lot of Capricorn energies. We have Venus retrograde in Capricorn right now. We also have Capricorn season and the new moon in Capricorn that occurred on January 2nd. This really could be signaling a new relationship or a new person coming in, a new potential relationship for some of you, or a deepening of a connection or commitment. This could also be a partnership of another kind. This doesn't have to be a romantic relationship or anything like that. But I do kind of get that vibe just looking at these cards here. And I think this Knight of Cups is also kind of your energy too. There's been a lot of focus on your mental health over the past year and a half. And it feels like you're kind of coming out back into the world. Maybe not in January, but it feels like that is something that you anticipate coming. And I see hints of that potentially as well. But I feel like there's still some healing that you're doing this month. And perhaps even into February as well. I think things are really going to pick up the pace in March and kind of from February to April really is when things are going to be happening very quickly. All the planets are going to be direct. And there's going to be almost like there's going to be a lot of really interesting and intense aspects that are happening, especially in February with the Pluto returning to the United States and the conjunction between Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, which is occurring in your 9th house. So really, really interesting shifts that are happening potentially for you with your worldviews, with education and travel. There could be opportunities for that. But this month it feels a lot more like you're kind of resting. We do have the Page of Pentacles here as well. And something that kind of comes to mind here is like, with this Knight of Cups, I almost feel like there's this pattern or energy in the past where it's like someone has come in before and tried to sweep you off your feet, and it didn't necessarily go the way you wanted it to. Sometimes when I think of the pages, it's like someone who means well, someone who has big intentions, but doesn't necessarily have the awareness or ability to really set realistic expectations or put that on the table. And so maybe there is this element of you kind of pulling back from relationships and almost coaxing out somebody else, really seeing what their potential is. I could kind of see that. We have the Four of Swords here as well. And this really is about taking rest and taking breaks and not rushing yourself. And honestly, Cancer, this month is really kind of choppy. it's not super smooth. There's a lot of pivots, there's a lot of readjustments that we're going to be making, especially when Mercury goes retrograde towards the middle of this month. Mercury is going to be going retrograde in Aquarius, and then it's going to retrograde back into Capricorn, where Venus is already retrograde. And so there really is this focus on your relationship sector in your chart. It's there. There is also this focus on, anything you would consider secret. And what I mean by that with this Aquarian energy is like sexuality, magic, the occult, things we don't necessarily talk about, things that are almost taboo. This also does include things like joint finances, joint bank accounts, investments as well. But there really is kind of this focus on things that you sort of keep in the shadow. And maybe that's where this is kind of like you're pausing. You're taking time before your next move here. And it's almost like the longer you wait, the sweeter it gets. At least in the month of January. Delayed gratification is sort of the game here, because I actually see the Nine of Cups showing up as a potential challenge. And that's sort of what I get with the Page of Pentacles too. There is this sense of delayed gratification here. And this is showing up as your advice. I do have an Ace of Pentacles in the future. And this is a solid new start. This could potentially be a new job or a new offering or more money coming your way. I could also see this as a stable commitment that might perhaps be related to relationships. And again, we do have that new moon in Capricorn at the beginning of this month, and that could be spawning some new connections this month. There is a full moon in your sign, in Cancer, on the 17th. And that really is focused on you. There's kind of a closing out of a chapter here and the beginning of something new. And so you are kind of between things right now, especially with the nodes shifting as well. I know I talked about in last month's video the node shifting as well. There's actually multiple ways that we can calculate the nodes. So that could be happening this month, or for some people it already happened last month. It really doesn't matter so specifically when that is happening. We've already had an eclipse cycle begin with the Taurus eclipse in November. So I think we're already feeling the beginning of this shift. And you are especially Cancer, because you are very sensitive to the moon. Yeah, I do actually have an Ace of Cups here, kind of clarifying this Ace of Pentacles. This does feel like a stable relationship. And that's actually really, really interesting. I know with Venus retrograde and even with Mercury retrograde, there's often this kind of cautionary tale about jumping into relationships or getting into new commitments. And I think there is certainly something to that. However, if this is someone you have been connecting with for quite a while, or if this is a relationship that has been in your life, especially since before November 19th, before the pre-shadow of Venus retrograde, I feel like it might actually be a time to commit to someone or start a new relationship potentially, because the retrogrades aren't really about starting new things. It's tying up loose ends. And so if this is something that feels like it's been a long thing coming, maybe that is what this is signifying. If there is a new relationship or there is a new person, I would still actually wait and hold off. Venus is going to be going direct at the very end of this month on January 29th, and we will be in the post-shadow phase for quite some time in February as well, kind of playing catch-up. Venus will be returning to where it was before it went retrograde. But I think there actually could still be a relationship that is coming into focus for a lot of you. And if this isn't a relationship, then this is just a stable beginning that feels really good. And it's like your emotions might actually be stabilizing quite a bit as well. That makes a lot of sense to me, kind of with the shifts of the nodes. There's a lot less focus on your health and mental health, and again, going more to the things that you love, and putting yourself back out in the world feels really, really important. The animal cards that I pulled for you were actually pretty significant as well. We have the Sea Serpent and the Cosmic Egg. Both of these cards are spirit cards, as indicated by these circles at the top of the cards here. And there are only 7 of these in the animal spirit deck, and they each correspond to a chakra. The sea serpent is the sacral chakra, or the second chakra, which correlates to our emotional states, our emotional well-being, our ability to be intimate and connect with people, and also our sensuality as well. But I think of this as like emotional healing. I do also see with the cosmic egg the spiritual connection. And when I see a lot of spirit cards or major arcana that come out in a reading, it does tell me there is significant shifts that are happening for a person, but it feels like you are shedding a skin. I'm noticing these serpent images in both of these cards, and it feels like there's something that you are shedding. You are stepping into this new cycle. And at least for now, in the start of January, it feels like there is this waiting, this healing, this taking a break, this resting, going easy on yourself. And really doing the things that you need to for your self-care. I want to pull one more animal card for you as well, actually. Yeah, so we have Dolphin. And this, ironically, is like the card of energy healing to me. I also think of soulmate energy as well, because dolphins do travel in pairs. And if we really wanted to get very specific, this could even be a same-sex pairing for some of you. Dolphins actually do usually travel in same-sex pairs, and they are sexual with each other. So they do kind of have a romantic relationship with one another. And that's about 90% of dolphins do this, actually. And it's kind of inspired my joke, dolphins are just gay sharks. So it doesn't have to be that it's a same-sex relationship by any means, but it does tell me that there is someone who's very significant who's coming into your life. And it is important that you listen to your intuition, you listen to this echolocation, and that might take some, that might mean taking some time for yourself, and taking some time out of your day, and really connecting with like-minded people as well. That's actually a huge theme for you just in 2022 in general. Finding your flock, finding the like-minded spirits. But that's actually really important with this dolphin energy here. And that makes a lot of sense with this focus in Capricorn, being in Capricorn season, having all of these planets in Capricorn. There really is this focus on making connections. And that doesn't have to be romantic. It's really finding your soulmates. And I don't think that's always a romantic thing. I'm saying soulmates in a very general sense here. I do want to just mention, though, as well, we do have Venus forming a cazimi, or a very close conjunction with the Sun, on January 8th. And while Venus is retrograde, it really is bringing a lot of illumination for us in the way that we approach relationships, in the way that we approach intimacy, as well as finances too, and kind of our long-term goals, because it is in Capricorn. But for you specifically, Cancer, this really is focused on relationships. That's just the part of your chart that this sign rules over. So this Capricorn energy is really having you figure out kind of the ways you may have sabotaged relationships in the past, and that might even include the people that you used to be drawn to. That could be changing as well. I am seeing a Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck here, so there are some cycles that could be closing out, but I'm seeing more of an emphasis on these new beginnings and these new offers that are coming in. And there's not really a need to rush into anything. I really want to stress that. Especially if you are going through major transformations, take as much time as you need. Those are really all the messages I have for you this month, Cancer. I do hope that this was helpful. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Again, all of my links are in the description box down below. If you are looking for a reading, all of those are 15% off until January 8th. And if you feel called to make a donation, I've actually been redirecting people to my friend Angela, who has a Kickstarter for an Enneagram reflection deck. The Enneagram is a really powerful tool for self-development and self-growth. And it's actually something that I used to really be into myself. And I know a lot of you are very interested in really reaching your potential, or figuring out your spiritual calling, and the Enneagram is a really great way to do that. And so if you want to learn more about the Enneagram, definitely click the link down below and show some support to Angela. I'm sure she would really, really appreciate that. And I will see you all in the next video. Have a happy January.